happy Monday. Thank you. Happy Monday to you too. Let's get Instagram set up. Okay. Oof. I'm so happy I made it. Ooh. Let's take a breath. I'm so happy I made it here. So I have just walked in the door. Excuse me. I have just walked in the door. I had spent the day at Blue Springs State Park, which is about an hour north of Orlando. It is where I volunteer with manatees. I teach people about manatees all over the world. I volunteer as a manatee observer, a manatee educator, manatee protector at Blue Springs, which is a warm water spring. It is a real important safe haven for manatees. I got this light. Let me plug it in and see if it helps. In the winter, in cold water, in the cold months, because the springs stay the same temperature all year long. And look at that. That might be a little bit bright. Let's see. That's much better. Okay, so the springs, I finally got me a light. The springs stay warm, stay the same temperature all year, so they're a really important warm water habitat for the manatees in the winter. And today, and I got a call from my coordinator that I work with up at the park, could I please come today, because they were sort of an all hands on deck for the loyal, the most trusted volunteers, the people who are there a lot, because they were releasing 12 manatees into the water today. To put them back into the water, to send them off, and the manatees came from all over Florida and even Ohio. So we had manatees that came from Miami, from Orlando, from Disney, from SeaWorld, from Sarasota, from Clearwater, from Jacksonville, and we do have partnerships with Columbus, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio. And so some of our manatees will go there to get bigger and stronger before they're ready to release, and then they'll come back. So 3 of them had just come back from Ohio, and it was just an incredible, magical day to be in a place of water, flowing water, of mature trees, of friends and family, of rescuing and releasing, to hear the people applauding when the manatees would get carried to the water. And they're carried into the water in like a big fabric sling, and manatees are quite heavy. And they'd walk the manatee into the water, and they'd release the sling, and the manatee would just swim away. And to hear all the people clapping, and so I've been answering questions and talking to people about manatees all day today, and it was just an absolute joy, because the thing is that manatees as spirit animals are really quite, they're magnificent anyway, but manatees as spirit animals are really quite magnificent. So manatees teach us to be curious about our environment. Manatees teach us to relax and slow down. Manatees teach us the importance of rest. And manatees also teach us the importance of being together. Manatees are not social in family groups the way we are, but they're social by convenience. So manatees teach us the importance of connection. And so as I was driving home, and I was like, okay, I need to make sure I'm home in time to be with you all today, because I certainly didn't want to delay or cancel if I had the options to be here on time. And to really, what is it that Spirit wants me to share? And that's just a reminder of what the manatees teach us. Not just that, there's a kitten behind me, not just that the manatees are endangered, because they are, and how we need to protect them and spread education and allocate resources and things to protect them. But more importantly, it was about what do manatees teach us as a spirit animal? And they are so magnificent and powerful, and their messages are so clear. Manatees have a great spirit of fun. And they also have a great spirit of peace, of resting, that it's okay to self-care. And I think that that's something that's really special and important about manatees. So I wasn't going to pull an animal spirit card today because it was really already having such a powerful spirit animal message coming through from the manatees and from my time being with the manatees today. I'm smell a little bit fishy. But it's all okay, and when we're done, I'll go jump in the shower. I do want to talk about the moon because we are in the waning moon, and we are coming into the time of the new moon in this next weekend. So the new moon, I believe, is the 20th, and it is important to start thinking about what things would I want to manifest in this time of the new moon. All right, we know that our energy and the moon's pull goes, rises and rises and pulls, and, can make us a little bit crazy as we get up into the full moon. And then that energy comes back down and kind of wanes as the circle comes back around and the new moon comes back down to the bottom. We may feel a little bit more tired. We may feel a little heavy. And it's an opportunity for us to, rest, self-care, right? Take it easy a little bit. And it's also an opportunity to look at what is it we want to call in and what is it we want to create for the next moon cycle. And that's really important. And so I believe we were in the Leo moon the last time. And so I think, I didn't confirm, and I'm not an astrologer, but I think we're coming into a Virgo moon. And so Virgo is a time of, as a conversation about sorting and organizing and getting our priorities straight, or at least more organized, and getting things situated how we would want them. And that's really important. And so if you are feeling a little bit scattered right now, just know that if we're coming, I believe that we're coming into the time of the Virgo new moon. And if that is the case, then this is a time to really take a look at your organizational strategies. Do you have an organizational strategy? What is it that is that you feel like might need to be addressed in this time of the new moon? And not to beat ourselves up about what we didn't or don't or whatever. It is never about that. But it is an opportunity for us to lean into that energy, because it's kind of like riding a wave. If you're doing the thing that the moon is calling us to do anyway, we have this extra pull, not even more like a tailwind. If you've ever flown coast to coast in this country or another country, you know that a tailwind can push the plane along so that you arrive at your destination more smoothly and a little quicker. And if you have a headwind, then it's going to take more energy, more gas, more effort, and you may be a little bit delayed. It's going to take a little longer. So if you think about the new moon as a tailwind that we are, moving into, if we are aligning ourselves with what that new moon has the strength to tailwind and to assist us with, if we are calling those things in and we're putting our attention on those aspects of our lives, we get to take advantage of the tailwind. And if the moon is in the sign that is your sun sign, your birth sign, then even more so, you get a double dose of that kind of tailwind. So it is important to take a look and say, okay, what is it that is, where am I being called in this next moon cycle, and what can I do to help myself move to go forward? So, and again, it's never about what you didn't do or what you're not doing, or it's never judgment or shaming. It's an opportunity each month to engage with the energy of the new moon and to be productive in a way where we can align with those tailwinds, so that the things we're trying to do are easier for us, and that we have that little help, that tailwind that gives us a little extra boost, a little more energy efficiency, and a little less obstacle to align with whatever it is that we are called to in that new moon. So when we work in alignment, it's like greasing the wheels, right? When we work in alignment, we can work smoother, faster, stronger, better, all those things, without having to have so much effort, right? So we want to work with intention, but we are not trying to force the universe. We're not trying to force a square peg into a round hole. We are trying to work in alignment with the universe to create and manifest the things that we want. But if they're coming or they're not coming, all things will come in the right time. So when we can work in alignment with what the moon is calling for, especially in the time of that new moon energy, which is lifting us, that new moon energy is boosting us, because that energy comes down for the new moon. So as soon as that new moon peaks, then it's going to be, oh, look, tarot interpreter banned, bye, banned from page, bye. We don't do spam here, so if you're going to be a spammer, just leave now, because I'm just going to ban you. It is that simple. We have zero tolerance for spammers. So, it really is about staying in that alignment. So, and if you are getting messages from spammers, I apologize. We do our very best to ban them as quickly as possible. So, we're going to go ahead and grab a couple of cards to do a collective card reading. And so the first card is, what do we need to know? What is the most, that we need to know about what's going on this week? What is going to be the most, in our highest and best good, that is going to allow us to be the most productive, to be in the most alignment? What is the thing I need to most know to help me be successful in this new week? And that is share your voice. It says, come out of the cave. Persecution, we are putting an end to persecution, and we are putting a start to expression. So this is the picture. This is share your voice. And so the first thing that we're being told by the universe-based spirit this week is that it's so important that we speak our truth. And it isn't about my truth makes someone else's truth not true, but my truth is true for me. So we want to speak our truth, but we want to stay in our lane. Okay, so it's important to stand up for the things that we believe in, but it's more important also to stand up for ourselves. And it's important to allow ourselves the space to say, what do I really want? We have spent so much time as a society being what others want us to be or expect us to be. It's really important that we're taking this time to allow ourselves to step into our truest desires and the things that we want, so that we are living in our true authenticity. Okay? And this is another thing that manatees teach us. It teaches us to be ourselves. And so the first card that comes out is this share your voice card. Okay? All right, the next card that comes out is align your life. Now, isn't that, big shock, right? So align your life. What is not aligned that needs to change? And this is what we literally just talked about as far as regards to the new moon. So this is a time to look at what is it that needs to be reorganized, what priorities need to shift, what is it that needs to align. So once we figure out how we're going to share our voice and what is our highest purpose, or what direction are we going in next that moves us towards our higher purpose, because it's not necessarily that you have to wake up one day and go, my highest purpose, that's it. And it's not an end all be all. It's a journey. It's a journey. Thanks. Welcome. So it's a journey. So it's not about, having to suddenly snap your fingers and be your truest self. It's a path. And so as we are understanding that this is the time that we are moving forward to share our voice and be our, and to live in our truest self, we are asking ourselves, what is out of alignment that I need to shift in order so I can more effectively share my voice and so that I can live in my truest self. Okay? So Danielle, welcome. So we're going to do a collective card reading, and then we're going to do some individual cards. The questions you're answering is not necessarily questions I can answer, but we'll see what we can do. We're going to finish the collective card reading first, okay? But welcome. All right, so the next thing that we need to know is to stay grounded. So we want to share our voice. We want to find our true path, our most aligned self. And as we do that, we're looking at our most authentic self, rather. And as we do that, we're looking at what is out of alignment in our life that needs to shift. So we're looking at not reinventing the wheel. We're not looking at fixing someone else's problems. We're staying in our lane. What do I need to do for me to be the most aligned? So in response to Danielle's question, as far as coworkers being fake, it doesn't necessarily matter. If you are staying in your lane and you're doing your job to the best of your ability with authenticity and genuine intention to do good work, then that is all you can control. Whether someone else is fake or likes you or not, That's not stuff that you can control. So as we align our life, one of the things we want to look at is, am I living my life from a place where I'm dependent on, and this is not a judgment thing, this is just sharing information, but am I living my life from a place where I'm dependent on the opinions of others? Now, if it's a boss, yeah, okay, you definitely, have some need to be, there's definitely a hope for goodwill there, because if your boss likes you, then you'll be more successful in your job. But no job is the end-all be-all. One of the things we taught our kids when they were growing up is live your life. Don't ever feel like you're trapped by a mortgage or a job, because all those things can be dealt with. We can change a job. We can refinance a mortgage. We can do all different kinds of things. If COVID taught us anything, it's that we can be flexible and we can shift and things can be worked out. So if you're not in a job that feels in alignment for you, there's no shame in looking for another one. Right? There's, so I'll tell this story because I feel like it's important, because they're pointing it into my head. So my son works for this one company, and he loves it, and he's having a blast, and they love him. He's doing great work. They're telling him he's doing great work. He feels very appreciated and valued, and this is where he works now. This is not where he was working, and also it's not where he wanted to work. He had his sights set on another company that does very similar work, but it's a much larger company. And he was like, I got to get my foot in there. I got to get my foot in there. I got to get in there. I got to get in there. I got to get in there. And they just were having whatever issues that they were having, that they were not in a place of hiring new people. Even though they had interviewed him and they liked him and they said they wanted to hire him, they were not in a place of hiring new people. And my son found on a job board this other company that does the same kind of work, but it's a smaller company. And he immediately got hired. It's not where he thought he wanted to be, but it was absolutely the right place for him to do what he wants to do. And so we can get a little tunnel vision about, this is where I need to be, and we may miss the thing that's right next to that place that could be something better. Okay? So when we talk about aligning our life, we're looking at, are the people I'm associating with, are they true and genuine? Are they fake? Are they people who would have my best interest at heart? Now, we're not necessarily talking about coworkers, because they may not have anything to do with that. You go, you do your work, you go home. Some places, there's a more social component to an employment situation, but not all. And that's up to you if you want to engage in that or not. But the part that's important is looking at your inner circle. Who's in your inner circle? Do you have a group of balcony people? People who have your back. People who, when you get frustrated, are going to say, come on, I know you can do it. You can do this. And the people who are going to lift you up and stand by you no matter what. Those are the people whose opinions that we look at as valid. If there's people who are around us because they simply are coworkers or neighbors or what have you, their opinion may not be valid, because they have not given you any reason to assume that they have a vested interest in your success, your advancement, your bringing blessing into your life. So we want to use discretion and discernment when we're looking at, there's people around me, there's people around all of us. Did I like every person I met today? Mostly, but a couple of them were a little like, But I don't care their opinion. I don't care what they think of me, because that doesn't matter. They have no bearing on my life. And so using that discretion is really important. And so as we look at aligning our life, we want to look at, who are we letting have an effect? How are we being affected? And are these the right priorities for us? And there's no wrong answer. I'm not saying something is right or wrong. I'm saying these are the things that the universe is sharing with us to focus on right now. Okay? So then we have our last card in the collective reading, which is Get Grounded. And so we'll do a couple of individual card readings after the collective reading. But this is Get Grounded, and this reminds us that it's so important in all the things to keep our feet on the ground and to keep, and it's not about being realistic, because that's ridiculous. Realistic is only allowing ourselves to see the things that we've proven to ourselves in the past, and leaves no room for imagination or exploration or expansion. So getting grounded is never about being realistic and keeping your feet on the ground. Like when you would say, you've got to keep your feet on the ground, not have your head in the sky. Not that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Get Grounded. We're talking about Get Grounded. We're staying connected. We're staying connected to the energy of Mother Earth. We're staying connected to the energy of the sky, the light, and the source of all. We're staying connected to each other. Oh, look, Pavlov Jolie, spammer. Oh, look, you already been deleted. Bamming. We're banning. Right? We're banning. Ban from page. ban. So anybody that's a spammer, just leave now because we're gonna ban you. There's zero tolerance for spammers. Just leave now. We're gonna ban you, and your comments are immediately deleted because that's how we're set up here. So, all right. So we're talking about, when we talk about get grounded, we're talking about staying connected, right? So we're talking about connected to source. We're talking about being connected to our heart, our soul. We're being connected to our higher-ness. And we're talking about staying connected to people that value us, those balcony people. We're being connected to the people who lift us up, not the people who bring us down. Okay, so this is what's in our collective reading as we're approaching the new moon. So we're not quite in it yet, but it's always important to talk about what are my intentions for this new moon before we're in it, so that when we don't get there and be like, what am I doing? Okay, because we never want to have that panic. So we are in the waning moon. The moon is coming back down. It's shrinking. That energy is coming back down to this time of the new moon at the bottom, and then it's going to go back up again, okay? So the new moon is going to be this weekend, the 19th or the 20th. I think it's the 20th. And so it's important that we are taking time now to say, okay, as we're moving into this new moon, what is important for me to understand about my life? What is the universe trying to share with me? What does the universe want me to think about and really look at putting my intentions towards as we go into this next new moon cycle? And I believe the next moon is Virgo. I didn't have a chance to check. And if that is the case, then it's about organization. It's about setting priorities and having discernment and discretion about where am I putting my intention in my life, what things are important to me and what things are top tier and what things are not top tier. So you are allowed to set the priorities of your own life. You are encouraged to set the priorities of your own life. So the first card that we had in our collective reading for the week was Share Your Voice. So as we're figuring out what is it that the universe is trying to help me manifest and create in this next moon cycle, they're talking to us about speaking our truth, stepping into our authentic power, stepping into living our most authentic and self-fulfilled life. They're talking about sharing our voice, which means speak our truth. Stand up for what you believe in, but also standing up for yourself. Allowing yourself to declare, this is who I am and this is what I want to be and who I want to be and how I want to show up in the world. That is so much strength, especially when we do that from a place of self-love and compassion and of others, but mostly self-love. How are you showing up in the world? And the second card says, well, okay, if you're going to show up as your most authentic self, you might need to do some alignment. You might need to look at what priorities are you giving attention to? What people are you giving attention to? What situations? Are these things really worth your time and energy? Do these people have a vote in your life? In my family, if you don't pay my bills, you don't get no vote. And we've taught our kids that. So my kids are 22 and 25. Now the 25-year-old, I don't pay his bills. I pay a couple. But so, I support him for his decisions that he makes, and we do give advice and guidance, but he's an adult. He's living his life. The 22-year-old, I pay his bills. I get a bit more of a vote, but he's also an adult and has some, opportunity where he needs to, be able to forge his own path. So, okay, you're banned, Ridwan. Bye, banned from page. Banned. If you're a spammer, just leave now because your comments are immediately deleted, and we ban you. Zero tolerance. Okay, so we had Align Your Life, looking at your priorities, looking at who's near you. Okay, banned. You're banned. So if you're here as a spammer, just go now because as soon as you make one comment, I'm going to ban you. So as soon as you start to make a comment on send me a message, send me a friend request, I have zero tolerance. So just leave now. Don't even post the comments because I'm just going to ban you. Okay? And I love that Facebook makes it so easy. There you go. Daria Maya didn't listen to me. You didn't listen. Bye, you're banned. Banned. See you, bye. Yeah, because we can see you coming. I mean, the way it sets up as, Facebook as the person doing the stream, I can see you coming. So if you're a spammer, leave now. Okay? We're just going to ban you. All right. So if you are not a spammer, I'm so sorry. This is something that happens to us on a regular basis. I take it as a compliment that you all are so awesome that everybody wants to know you. But please know, if anybody is ever sending you a message that says, send me a friend request, I feel drawn to you, I feel, pulled to you, oh, I love your energy, I've got a blessing for you, or an accurate reading, or something, and especially if you can see that they've sent that comment to everybody, or they're trying to, please do not respond to any of these things, because these are all spammers that are trying to scam you out of money. Oh, you've got a spell and I can relieve it or remove it, or it's all crap, because a real psychic or medium that was a quality person that was working with integrity would never do this crap. So this is why I have very little tolerance for it, because there are so many people that are trying to do this kind of garbage that really make a bad name for the people who are working so hard to do good work and work from ethics and integrity. That's not ethics and integrity, and so I have zippo patience for that. So the last card of our collective card reading is Get Grounded. And this reminds us it isn't about keeping your feet on the ground. It is about keeping connected to spirit. It's keeping connected to your soul, to your heart, and keeping connected to the people whose opinions are worth valuing. Okay? I'm not valuing the opinion of my neighbor across the street. I mean, he's wonderful. I love my neighbors. I'm blessed with amazing neighbors. But what they think or don't think is not relevant to my day-to-day life. I love them. They're wonderful. But they are not my inner circle. They are not my balcony people. And so I'm only being concerned about the people whose opinions have proven through those relationships of trust and reciprocity, and the people who have shown me time and again they have my back. These are the people whose opinions I count on. So we want to use that discernment and that judgment, and we stay grounded in those people, knowing those are our inner circle, the people who truly love us for us, and that they have our back. If you couldn't call that person to bail you out of jail at 2 a.m, they're not in the inner circle. All right, so we're going to reshuffle, and so now, and I see, I know, Umer, welcome, and we're going to try and help you. And I think, who was it? Danielle, who asked for some help as well. So here's the thing. Once we get to, hi, Gina. Once we get to the end of the collective card reading, I reshuffle. And if you would like to have a card pulled for you, this is the time to say me in the comments. But, okay, what I want you to understand is I can't see what's going on with other people, because that's not you. So that for me, that's like mental trespassing. I can't see what your neighbor thinks or what your maybe coworkers think. I know that was a question that was asked. It's a question of what's going on with you. And what I want you to do is think about, what is it that I want to know? You, what do you want to know? What is the question? So if you need help, that's great. You don't have to put the question in the comments. You don't have to put the questions in the comments. Nobody needs to know your business. If you don't want to share, that's fine. If you do, fine, whatever. But what I want you to think of as when it becomes your turn is, what do I most need to know about XYZ situation? What do I most need to know about whatever the situation is that's relevant to you? We want to teach you, I want to teach you to ask the right questions so you can get helpful answers. Does this, is my boyfriend coming back? Not a helpful question. It's not a question that, it's a yes or no question. We don't want to ask the cards a yes or no question, because, I'm like, oh, okay, no. Did you want more information than that? You probably did. So let's ask questions in a more open-ended way that allows the cards to share more information with us. So you don't have to tell me the question. It's totally fine. I'm going to pull a card, and Umer, and then Maria. Gina, you hanging in? You want a card? Let me know. All right. So Umer, have your question. So what does Umer most need to know about whatever his question is? And this is the Mintonkin card. This is longing for home. This is about belonging and looking for your roots, looking for where you fit, finding your community. So this is, and so you can spell it. So Mintonkin. Mintonkin is a part of the ancients that came before. It's part of the Lemurians and the Pleiadians and the places where there was utopia, because they had evolved to a point where they knew who they were and they lived in peace. Right? So Mintonkin is this place that was a utopian place where they were so evolved and so rich in their understanding of the universe that they were able to live in peace. And so for Umer, this is really about understanding who you are and where you come from and where do you fit in. How do you show up? We want to feed on the cards that we had for the collective card reading. How do you show up as your most authentic self and find your place when you fit in. And here's the thing, when you are showing up as your most authentic self, you will find the place that you fit in. You can't help but find the place that you fit in. When you are moving forward and having your heart and your soul lead the way, and you're allowing the universe to be that tailwind, you can't help but find the right place and the right directions for you. So I hope that is helpful for you. I know you said you needed some help. I hope that is helpful. Ethel, welcome home, my friend. I hope you had a great time on your cruise. Welcome, welcome. Hi. Okay, so we're going to go. I see you, Gina. All right, we're going to go to Maria. Oops, wrong scroll. Wrong scroll. Hello. All right, so we're going to Maria. All right, welcome everybody. So Maria, what does Maria most need to know for her situation? What does Maria need to know? Maria needs to know about her inner temple. This is tuning into the portal of your heart. So Maria, this is about getting quiet, giving some time for yourself to just maybe do some automatic writing, or to just allow yourself to say the thing, what if? What if I did this or that? What if? Oh, we're going to ban, hello, whoever that is. We're banning your band. Bye. So what if, Maria, what if that you were allowing yourself to think a little bigger, to dream a little bigger, allowing your heart to be led by your soul, so that you were following where you're being pulled, where you're being called, and not where you feel like you're supposed to go? But this is really about listening to your inner guidance system. This is about listening to those voices inside yourself that you know to be the truth, because you know who you are and you know who you want to be. So this is really about allowing yourself to show up, giving yourself permission to listen to your soul and to show up as the person you really want to be. I hope that helps you in some way. All right. So we're going to go to Jem and Catherine, and then we're going to come to Gina on Instagram. So we're going to go to Jem. All right. Let's see what Jem needs to know. What does Jem most need to know? So Jem, this is Share Your Voice. This is the card that we had pulled. It was part of our collective card reading. So we want to make sure that you take a minute to go back when you can and watch the beginning of this video, because we talked a lot about the Share Your Voice card. So just know that this is really about figuring out how you want to show up in the world as your most authentic self. Okay, so how do you want to show up in the world as your most authentic self, and know that this is absolutely the time to do that, that you are being called and encouraged and welcomed to do that. So I hope that that is helpful for you. All right, so we're going to go to, me scroll back. Okay, scroll. So Jem. Okay, Catherine, we're going to do Catherine. Michael, you're not late, but I'm delighted you are here authentically. There's no other way to be. No other way to be. All right, so we're going to do Catherine. You are welcome. I'm sorry that you got freaked out about the alligators, Michael. I really do apologize for that. I will tell you, if you go back and watch the beginning of the video, I spent the entire day today at the state park helping with the release of 12 manatees back into the water. So only one alligator. So. But lots of questions about alligators. So, all right, so this is really interesting. So this is for Catherine. And so here it is, the alignment card, right? Aligning your life. We already had this card come up. And so if you were here from the collective card reading, I'll give you the same information I just gave to Jem, that it's going to be important to go back and watch the earlier part of the reading. But this is really looking at what is it that is out of alignment in your life, and who are you taking advice from or guidance from? Are they worthy of that position in your life? Are they worthy of that position of the trust that you would give them by allowing them to have opinions about you and how you live? So this is really important about understanding who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world, and are your priorities in line with your passions and with the direction that you feel you're being called or being led by spirit. So it's important to take some time, especially as we're coming into this new moon, to look at, am I living in alignment? Because, very often people, the answer is no. And we don't realize it until we stop and think about it for a little while. So stop and think about it. Okay. Hi. Oh, Irmir, I'm so glad that helped. Yay, hooray. All right, so we are going to jump over to Instagram to Gina's card, and then we're going to come back to Ethel. And if you are on Facebook and you're a spammer, just leave now, because we have zero tolerance, and I will ban you immediately because we have zero tolerance for crap like that. And if you're not a spammer, we're so delighted that you're here. So this card is for Gina. This card comes in upside down. This is the yes card. And so Gina, it comes in upside down, which is this reminder to you that it's safe to say yes. It's safe for you to say yes to what the universe is trying to put in front of you. It's like the platter is being offered in front of you. It's safe for you to say, okay, I will take that. And it's a good reminder, because I even had thought today when I was working at the park and I had my water bottle with me, and my supervisor said, hey, we've got a cooler full of water bottles for volunteers if you need it. And I thought, no, I prepared. I brought all my own water. I am ready to go. And I thought, well, that's silly. There's no reason why I couldn't take advantage and say yes to have a water bottle that is, I will recycle, but also, probably colder and blah, blah, blah. So very often we're so programmed to be like, no, I got it. And so, Gina, this is this reminder for you to say yes, that it's safe for you to say yes, that the things that are coming to your awareness that you're like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. No, I can't. Maybe rethink that, because if you're having that first thought that's like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, say yes. See what happens. Okay. All right. So we're going to come back over to Facebook. She said, wow, I finally needed some positivity in my life. Well, it seems like this is the time, honey. So I look forward to hearing what happens. So, all right, my friend Ethel. So Ethel is here. So here's my rules. Okay. If you want a card reading, you've got to put it in the comments. If you've already put it in the comments, don't do it again. It's fine. But if you just came in and said hi to me, as much as I adore my friend Ethel, if I don't see you say, I want a card, I will not pull a card for you, because you have not energetically given me permission. Ooh, a couple jumpers. You have not energetically given me permission. That is super important to me, that I am not going to read for somebody who is not ready to receive that information. So Ethel, my darling, if you are still here and you would like a card, toss in a comment and we will make it happen. So, hi, Tarina. Buntello, how wonderful. Welcome. Same thing. Catherine, did we just do? Catherine, we did. Okay, we just did your, interview. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. No. Don't be nervous. Let me see. What about Catherine's interview? I didn't see that comment when we were reading. No, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. You just be you. I don't feel like there's an offer in the room. I feel like there may be like a callback. But don't be nervous. I feel like there's positive energy around this. So you be you. Go in with confidence. Go in with your desire to serve and to be part of this team, to make that work go better, to be part of contributing, and you're going to be golden, my friend. You're absolutely going to be golden. Maria, you are welcome. Hi, Keely O'Brien would love a reading, and hopefully the mantis were released. We'll send some exciting info. Well, really, the most exciting information was that all the mantis were released safely and without incident. This was the largest release in the history of Blue Springs State Park, and frankly, it was the largest release in one single day of anywhere ever. So to put 12 manatees, we were supposed to do 13, but to put 12 manatees in the water is all at one time is quite a feat, especially when they were coming from all over the country, the state. Sorry. I will be posting. I took a ton of pictures. I have to look and see if I got anything besides people's legs. But I will be posting lots of pictures on my personal page, which is public. You don't need a friend request to follow that or page, or at least to look at it. Please be aware that I do post my political views there. So just, be aware. But I will post a bunch of pictures about the manatees there. So Ethel, I see you. you. Okay, so we're going to, Ethel, I see you. Oh, let me go back. I do try to go in the order. So, okay, so we're going to do Keely. We're going to come back to Ethel. So, managing information for new friend Keely, and this is Starseed. So, Keely, this also came in upside down, okay, which is, again, this reminder for you to pay a little extra attention. So starseed is talking about being connected with your soul. You may or may not be a starseed in your soul, and that's okay. It's a kind of a generation, a kind of where your soul came from, where it originated, what generation you were in. It doesn't matter, but you may or may not be a starseed. That's not the important part of the card. The important part of the card is being true to your soul. So there are things, Keely, that you know you would love to do, experience, have, participate in, all the things in your life, but you hold yourself back. You keep yourself from allowing yourself to experience the things that would bring you true joy. There may be a worthiness thing in there, but this card is here to remind you this is the time for you to connect with your soul and allow yourself to follow what is truly in your heart and where you truly want to go and what you truly want to experience, the direction you want to go in. You don't have to jump to the finish line. You don't even have to know all the steps to get there, but allow yourself to tune into, what do I really want? Who do I really want to be? How do I want to live my life? And ask yourself, what is one step that you could take to help move yourself in that direction? What is one step that you could do to move yourself towards that goal? And that's what the Starseed card is about. Connecting to your higher self, following your path to what your heart truly wants and came here to do, and take one step toward that goal. You don't have to know all the steps. You don't have to know the whole path and have it all planned out. Most people do not. Very, very few people have it planned out. But allow yourself to ruminate on that and to ask yourself, what is one thing I could do to move myself closer to this goal? What is one thing I could do to move myself forward in this direction? Okay, that is the message for my new friend Keely. All right, Michael's comments about alligators crack me up. You are welcome, Jem. And we're going to go to Ethel, and then we're going to come back to Louise. Okay. All right. We're going to go to Ethel, my friend Ethel, and we're going to come back to Louise. All right, so Ethel, my friend. Okay. Ethel card is answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So this card, Ethel, is we're seeing a theme, which is not an unusual thing. We're seeing a theme. This is you also. What is it you truly want to do? Now, I know you're retired and have beautiful grandchildren, but is there something else where you would like to learn something? Would you like to contribute some way? Is there some, maybe a business you wanted to start, a hobby you wanted to start? Is there a class you wanted to take? This is the time to allow yourself to follow the heart and to allow that fulfillment to come into your life. So it's not that you're doing anything wrong. Because I know you're not, but it may feel like there's something more. Follow that. Allow yourself that what if question. Well, what if I took a class? What if I read that book? What if I volunteered at that place? What if? Allow those things to have more traction in your world and see what happens, because it feels like that's where you're being called to step in a little bit more. Sometimes we get folks who are retired, they're like, I'm stepping out because I've done all the stuff, and I'm like, I'm done. But it feels like you're being called to step in a little bit more. That doesn't necessarily mean, go get a 9-to-5 job or something like that, but step in a little bit more and see what comes of it. I look forward to hearing about that. All right, so we're going to go back to Louise. Is that right? Oh, well, I'm really glad, Ethel. The cards don't lie. And as Ethel is someone I know personally, I look forward to hearing updates about it. All right, so we're going to go back to, where did I say, Louise? We're going to go back to, where's Louise? Okay, I just need to find your name so I can feel your name as we are looking at the cards. All right, so Louise is looking for a message to help with a new direction if possible. So what is it that Louise needs to know, most needs to know about a new direction? And so this card comes in Soul Family. It says, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it all alone. But it also is upside down, Louise. So this is not only this reminder that you don't have to do it alone, but it's also a little bit of a nudge about discretion, about Okay, call in my soul tribe. I can, and if you came in a little bit late, maybe back up the replay to see the part where we talked about using discernment and who's in your inner circle, because that's what this card is about. It's about, yes, call in your soul tribe, call in your inner circle, the people who you trust to give you good advice about a new direction. Following your heart and what you feel in your soul is the right move, but you leaning in on your inner circle, then taking their opinions and their value, that those things are valid if they are worthy, and being in your inner circle. And so the reason this comes in upside down is that you may need to do a little weeding about your inner circle. You may need to be doing a little bit of looking around, like, is this person still worthy of being in my inner circle? Like, I have people that I love to death, but I have to filter what I can tell them or not tell them, because they may be near my inner circle, but their judgment or opinionatedness or something may preclude them from allowing me to let them their opinions carry value or carry weight when I'm trying to make a decision. I don't love them any less. I just know what that boundary is. And so while this is reminding you to lean into your soul tribe, it's also reminding you to use discretion about who's getting into that inner circle and who isn't. Okay, so that's for Louise. Catherine, Ethel, Tarina. All right, so we've got Tarina and Laura. All right. All right, so we're gonna go, I scroll down because I wanna make sure if you all told me something important, I didn't wanna miss it, or if there are, spammers that came in, I wanna make sure that we boot them off immediately. So, all right, Tarina. So, Tarina, as we pull a card for you, I want you to think about what is the question that you would like to have an answer to. And we're not looking for yes or no questions. We're looking for, what do I need to know about, for my highest and best good, about X situation. So you don't have to tell me the situation, none of my business, but you know the situation. What is it I need to know for my highest and best good about X situation, okay? So hold that thought in your head. I'll pull a card for you. All right, so for Tarina, this is answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So we're seeing the themes, right? If you've been watching from the beginning, we see a lot of these cards that come up the same, that come up over and over again, or cards that are similar. So Tarina, this is about following your heart. And again, asking that question of, well, what if? What if I let myself do this or that? What if I tried this or that? What if I allowed this into my life? Because your soul is trying to say to you, your heart is trying to say to you, we want to go do this. We came here to have this experience. We want to be part of this or that or the other thing. And so this is reminding you that it's safe to do that, but it's really encouraging you to expand a little bit and say, well, what if I did that? Because we're so often conditioned to be like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Well, what if? What if you did? And again, you don't have to jump into the whole thing deep end, but what if you took one step? What could that be like? So something to think about. This is what the cards are asking you to think about. All right, so we're going to scroll. Laura, hi, Laura. Oh, Michael, I love helping the manatees. It really is very important. It is very important. Thank you for the hearts and waves, Miss Louise. Thank you. Oh, Tarina, thank you. You are welcome. You are so welcome. Ethel, welcome. These are, Danielle, these are Oracle cards. These cards I'm using today are the Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle. This is one of my favorite decks, is the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle card deck. I love her deck. The cards are so pretty, and they have just such beautiful energy. Okay, so where did we leave on? Laura. All right, Laura. All right. Do a few more. May not have time to get to everybody, but I always try. Before I forget, there is not meditation this Thursday night. Followed the cards to say what if. Some of you know that I'm a certified grief educator, and I had the privilege of going to Portland, Oregon a few months ago and got to tour the Dougie Center, which is the first facility in this country specifically designed for grief counseling and therapy for children who have lost either their parent, parent, sibling, something like that, or a loved one, and also kids who may be dealing with terminal illness, not as a medical facility, but as a place for kids to connect with mortality and get counseling and support. There are Dougie Center certified places all around the country, and there's one here in north of Orlando, and so I start volunteering a few Thursdays a month. So it's gonna be like 2 Thursdays a month starting this week. So our meditation will either have to move to another night, or we will meditate every other week, or earlier or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But the first day is this Thursday, so there will not be meditation this week because I'm not really sure what the situation is going to be, but as we go forward we'll figure it out. Okay, all right, so Laura, this card for you is Mintonkin, and we saw this card come in earlier, so you may need to go back and look at the replay. But Mintonkin, this card comes in for you, it comes in upside down. So Mintonkin is like a utopia. It's the place where the ancestors, the ancient ones who were so evolved and who were so much more enlightened than we are, where they lived and where they hung out, where they connected with each other. And so when we're having this card coming in right side up, we're looking for where we belong. We're looking for our heritage, for our ancestry. We're looking for where we come from. We're looking for where we fit in. When it comes in upside down, it's a reminder that you're already in the right place, or that you're on the right track with finding where you fit, and that again, using discernment about, am I in the right place? But this is a reminder that finding where you fit may not be as important as fitting within yourself and maybe creating your own circle. So if you're not fitting with the circles that are around you, it's also okay to start your own tribe. And that's what Mintonkin is talking about when it's upside down like that. So Laura, I hope that helps you in some way. And let me know what happens. I'm always excited to hear what happens. Ellen Jane. All right, so we scroll down. And all right, Ellen Jane. Okay, Ellen, this is Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? So this fits in again with, what is your soul trying to tell you? What is your soul? Where's your soul trying to guide you? So Ellen, this isn't necessarily about going into battle, but it is about being truest to yourself. Bye, Michael. I'll be behind you doing that as well. But Ellen, this is about allowing yourself to lean in to, what is it I really want? And so this falls in with that what if question. And it isn't about doing battle, but it is about being willing to stand firm for yourself, and to stand up for what you believe in, and to stand up for yourself. So whether you are standing up for what you believe in because it supports others, like equality or something, or whether you are standing up and planting your feet for yourself. This is about straightening your back, putting your shoulders back, planting those feet, and saying, this is what I'm claiming for myself, and making zero apologies about it. Those shirts that say, I have no F's left to give. Ellen, no F's, right? This is your time. And you choose how you want to show up and where you want to go and how you want that to look. Put your shoulders back, plant your feet, and say, I'm claiming this in the name of Ellen. You go, girl. All right. Work at the Parks and Low, the commitment. The volunteers, we make a huge difference. I know that so much. I know that I could see the difference. I know Michael left already, but I can see the difference that the volunteers made today with such a monumental day of releasing 12 manatees in a single morning. Okay, so Danielle, did we do a card for you at the very beginning? Danielle, let me know, please, were you the one that asked me about your job? I feel like I pulled a card for you already. Let me know. If not, we'll do it. So, beautiful deck, oracle cards. Yay, yay, yay. Happy, happy. Danielle. Okay, so apparently I'm, okay. So, okay, Danielle. Michael's going to have some exercise with the dogs. Got it. I see you, Danielle. Ellen, you are welcome. Laura, you are welcome. And Danielle is going to be up. Okay, we've got it. All right. Just want to make sure I didn't miss somebody in the comments, because sometimes they scroll by so fast. I'll miss somebody. So I always want to make sure I don't miss anybody. And so thank you, Danielle, for sticking with me. I appreciate it. We'll get a card for you pulled out here. All right. We're going to I think Danielle's going to be the last one because it's getting close to 5:30. So Danielle, you asked a very specific question. The answer was no. Okay, the answer was no. Okay, So that doesn't necessarily mean you need to quit tomorrow. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what the cards are saying. But Danielle, this is telling you what you have heard me talk about the whole way today, is finding your place and finding the place that's right for you. And so where you are now, it's where you are, okay? And that may be where you need to be for the moment, but it's important that you are keeping your eye on something else. So watch the job boards, but do some self-reflection of looking at, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? But the thing is, when I talk to people about job boards, we tend to say, oh, I'm working at an accounting firm, so I'm going to look for another job at an accounting firm. But if you're not happy at the accounting firm, why would you look for a job at an accounting firm? Looking for a place where you can take your talents, where your talents can be utilized. It doesn't have to be the same industry. It doesn't have to be the same anything. And I will tell you, especially in this post-COVID world or post-pandemic world, places that are hiring are looking for people who give a damn and who will do their best work, who will show up on time every day and give their best efforts. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for people who are intelligent, who have common sense. Oh, Mary, we're going to ban you. Bye. Spammers are banned. Banned, banned. Bye. Banned. Goodbye. Banned. So they're looking for people who are willing to show up with integrity, to do their best work, who are trainable, teachable, who are willing to learn, and who can bring their skills to the table. So you asked if you were in the right place. There's nothing for me to say about this card. But what I do want to say is, don't feel like you've got to jump out the door the next minute. But it is, wow, that's so fun. But you may need to look for where else you can, share your gifts. Because bartending is great, and definitely fun, and can be great tips, but are you utilizing your gifts the way, to your highest and best? So, are you among great people? If I'm remembering your question from earlier in our time together today, it doesn't seem like you feel like you are. So, maybe a change is in order. But how wonderful for you to be able to have that kind of control over your life. That's a blessing. That's one of the things that I have always personally really sought, was that control of my time, control of on a Monday to say, yes, I can come and help with this amazing thing, and to be able to be part and to control my schedule. So, okay. So if you are utilizing your skills and you feel like you're done, what can you learn? What is it that you can now learn? Which doesn't necessarily mean you need to quit bartending, but maybe there's something else you're supposed to be learning, or you have the opportunity to learn or experience. So it is about not stagnating, because the soul gets really antsy when we stagnate. So one of the things that we have talked about over and over and over again about the 2023 year is that the 2023 year is the year about me. 23 is about me. And I don't mean me, I mean you, right? 2023 is the year for us to say, this is the year about me. How do I want to show up in the world? What do I want to create or cultivate? What do I want to learn? So if you have already used those skills for a long time, I get burnout. Trust me, I do. But what is it that you could do now that could be different? How can you show up different? Could you learn something else? Could you share in a different way? And so I'm not saying that you have to leave, but you asked, is this the right place for me? And the card said no. So what your job is now is to look at what else is out there. Now, that may be a job. It may be something that fuels your soul or your mind. Something. There's no wrong answer. That's the magic. There's no wrong answer. Oh, all right. So I just pulled one card and I shuffled it right back in. So the card for us to close it all out, the card for us to have from the collective is Priestess. This is, how are you being called, Danielle? How are you being called to step up and lead? And this is not necessarily just for Danielle, but this is really what we've been talking about from the very first card of, sharing your voice. How are we being called to come step up and be part of moving society and humanity forward? This is a time of great change, my friends. We are in the age of Aquarius. This is a time of great change, and it takes all of us who believe in the light to step up and help push that wheel forward. So, where are you being called to step up to lead? I want to say thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. There is not meditation this Thursday night. We'll be back next Thursday and we'll figure out where we go from here. And I can't wait to be back with you next week. I hope you have a blessed, wonderful week. Remember, the new moon is this weekend, so take some time to check out into yourself with what is it, how do you want to show up in the world? Where are your priorities? What needs to be reorganized or, reprioritized? So I hope you all have a fantastic week and always, always know how very much you are loved. Mwah.